guys can be doctors.
Yeah.
You know, and have live in a nice area and have a nice family. I mean, that's what that showed. That was the Cosby Show was great. I'll tell you, I haven't even tried to even find this. There was a show called Police Squad that they only made like 6 of them, and the character Leslie Nielsen was in it. Was Frank Drebin, which became Naked Gun.
Right.
But the 6 or 7 episodes, I forget how many they were, because I guess the ratings weren't very good, were just hysterical. They used to do this. They had this character, Johnny the shoe shine guy. And he'd be like on the streets of the city. People would come and sit down. He'd shine their shoes. They'd pay. And there would be a different celebrity would sit down in the chair. Like once it was Tommy Lasorda wearing a Dodger uniform. He's sitting there getting his shoe shine.
When was this?
It was probably in the early 80s, late 70s.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was really a short, didn't have a long run at all. Like I said, probably just 6 or 7 shows.
I like the Wonder Years.
Wonder Years was good.
I grew up with that.
Yes. We talked about this. Heather had it a few weeks ago. They're doing like a reboot. It's not really a reboot. It's like a different type of Wonder Years. But
yeah, it's going to surround a black family
right,
around that same time period.
Yeah, Fred Savage is going to be part of it, though, as like a director, right?
Yes. Not you won't see him appear in an episode, but he'll be behind the scenes. I'm 28 years old, and most of my friends consider Parks and Recreation a cult classic. I've probably seen that equal as many times as Seinfeld. That's Tom on a roof in Bloomfield. Be safe there, Tom.
And then another one I got mentioned twice, News Radio. Fantastic.
A great show. Yes.
Yeah, I love that show.
That was a really good one. And Old School Coach. Yeah, with
I was starting to have a cheers.
Yeah,
Coach. I'm like, wait, what?
And New School Goldbergs. And somebody says, I really like wings. All right, 97 on the ticket.
What are you waiting for? It only takes an hour for you to have your child's heart screened. Get your kid's heart checked at the Ernst Cardiovascular Center at Beaumont Hospital in Royal Oak. Details at 971theticket.com. WXYD FM and WXYD HD1 Detroit. The radio.com sports station. Sports headlines all day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk, this is 97.1 The Ticket.
Let's open with the Tigers, who fall to the Kansas City Royals 5-3 in last night's finale of that 4-game midweek series at Comerica Park. It was a good night in the loss for Miguel Cabrera, who would slam a pair of home runs. That ends a recent slump for the veteran DH, where he was just 2 for 19 at the plate. Major League officials confirmed in a release yesterday that the Philadelphia Phillies weekend series against the Toronto Blue Jays has been canceled after a member of the Phillies coaching staff and a clubhouse attendant both tested positive recently for the coronavirus. Now, this comes just days after 19 members of the Miami Marlins, who played in Philadelphia just last weekend, also tested positive for the virus. The Lions placed 2 more players on the NFL's reserve COVID-19 list on Thursday. The 2 are cornerback Justin Coleman and reserve tight end Isaac Nauta. Being placed on that list means that the players have either tested positive for the coronavirus or been in close contact with someone who has the virus. The SEC joins the Big Ten, the Pac-12, and the ACC with their announcement yesterday that they're going to a conference-only schedule for football and other sports this fall. Under that plan, SEC teams will play 10 conference games this upcoming season. That schedule begins on September 26th. There were 2 finals from the NBA last night, the first regular season games in that league since March 11th. The Lakers defeat the Clippers 103-101. Utah stuns New Orleans 106-104. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Tony Ortiz. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and radio.com.
Jamie and Stoney on 97.1 The Ticket.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is the Jamie and Stoney Show. You're on a Friday, Heather.
I know, Stoney. It is Friday. And as Jamie would say, congratulations, you've made it to Friday.
That is correct, obviously.
Yes.
The Jamie and Stoney Show. Tom McGovern-Milliken here. And we also, as always, we want to do, make sure people get up today if you haven't done it, especially if you're over the age of 35, let's say, 40, around there. Don't wait till 50. Get your colonoscopy scheduled. It saves lives. Jamie's still fighting the fight. So how's everybody doing, all right?
Yeah. this is a huge congratulations. This has been a long week.
Yes, it is. It has been a very
Emotional,
tough long
mentally
week.
straining.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And actually, from the sports perspective now, beginning tomorrow, we'll have 3 of the 4 major sports going and for games for real. I mean, last night the NBA started, finishing up their regular season. I think each team's going to play like 8 regular season games. And tomorrow, the Stanley Cup playoffs, the qualifying round begins. Like 6 games, like from 12 o'clock all night, NHL. If that's your fancy, you can watch that. And of course, we have Major League Baseball, and unfortunately, the Tigers were not able to win that series with the Kansas City Royals as they lose last night 5-3. The bullpen that's been so good all season kind of let them down a little bit. Snare Love gave up a little hit run in the 7th, and then Carson Fulmer came in and shelled 3 hits, 2 runs. One bright spot in the game, there's more than one, but the big bright spot in the game was Miguel Cabrera. 2 solo home runs in the same game. It was the first time he hit multiple home runs in a game since 2016. I know he was hurt a lot, but I still don't think it was that long. In fact,
That's not surprising. That was his last decent year.
I know. In fact, he has 40. It was his 40th career multi-homer game. 1,399 days after recording his 39th, which was September 30th of 2016. None of the other 32 players in baseball history with 40 or more multi-homer games ever went that long between any 2 multi-homer games. Is that crazy?
It hurts my head.
I know. Craziness. But unfortunately, they were both solo shots. And they didn't muster much of an offense besides that. Scope at another home run. But that 3-4-5, which includes Miggy, right now batting averages of Miggy's 154, Stewart 118, Crone 174. Candelario still is hitless for the season. Cameron Maben injured a quad, being put on the 10-day DL.
Yeah, the offense, it needs to start waking up now. Right? Again, we're over a 10th of the way through the season.
Mm-hmm.
So you just don't have time. But if I told you this time last week that they were 4-3 and that they've got some power and that Miggy has 3 home runs already, you thought I'd crazy.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Right.
There's nobody, when he wasn't hitting for any power in the inter-squad games, for him to do this now is, hey, it's a bright spot. But they need to just start getting base runners.
Yeah, they got nothing. All it is solo home runs for the most part. They had a few, home runs with other guys on base, but mostly it's solo home runs. It's the softball again.
Yeah.
This is what we've seen the last few years, and
you're getting out of Nova what you, I guess, hope for the best.
he keeps you in games. Two games. He's not been great. He's not been horrible. He's kept you in games. He went 5 2/3, 8 hits, 2 runs, no walks. So that's what he gives you. That's what he gives you.
You're gonna have to score 4 or 5 runs when he pitches.
Yeah.
They scored 4 the first game and one was 4-3, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then last night, obviously, this is what you're gonna get. 500 pitcher, eat some innings.
Mm-hmm.
He pitches the contact. I have good defense.
Now, this is what you're going to have for them as a season probably as well, where optimistically they'll be floating around 500 the whole season, and the question is whether that'll be enough to get them into the wild card. Because Cleveland and Minnesota are by far the class of the division. You see Shane Bieber, the pitcher for the Indians, 13 strikeouts last night. He's got 27 strikeouts in his first 2 games, which is the most since like 1954.
I did watch that game, Sony. It was on Fox.
I know.
Over the air. How cool is that? And by the way, now between Saturday and last night, do you know what's back on Fox?
No, I don't. They got a game tonight too?
I think Saturday they have.
Okay, yeah,
That would
it
be
is.
not a doubleheader, but like regional action on Saturday. But yes, the Fox baseball theme is back.
That's important.
After
for you.
probably a decade away, actually. I mean, think of this. It's close to a decade away. They used the same theme that they used for football. And now they went back to the traditional baseball theme. So that's pretty cool.
Was baseball using the sad NFL music when a baseball player would get hurt?
Wait, was
When baseball used to say NFL music when a player got hurt.
Well, I don't
Like I say,
think.
somebody got hit in the head on the mound, and
Well, I don't think so because they don't typically go to break.
I know.
right?
I did that for Jamie. Jamie loves it.
I
He
know.
also loves the Fox baseball.
Yes, I know, and the fact that you guys are really big on the themes, it's really incredible.
But the sad NFL
I know,
music when
it's-
somebody's
I
hurt
know.
and they go to break.
I know.
It's so cheesy, but it's so bad that it's good.
I know. There's a lot of things in life are like that, so cheesy and bad. And you're right, that is one of them. Also, last night, the NBA in the bubble. It was very strange, but it was some good basketball. I know there are people, I saw on social media, and I'm not watching because they're all kneeling because the NBA always, have people stand, but they're making special exceptions for this year. All the teams, they lined up together basically and knelt as two teams together. They were allowed to put whatever they wanted on their jerseys, and it was weird. Like LeBron, it said James. Some of the others had their real names, but it's so nitpicky of me. If you're a superstar, I think it's a guy that everybody recognizes if you're watching a game. Okay, that's fine. But there are guys dribbling around. I say, well, who is that? And he turns around and it says emotion. If somebody else like Zion was, I knew who Zion was. It's just weird.
Emotion for three. Bang!
Yeah, I know. Say her name. Yes. It was. Look, I get it and all that. So it doesn't bother me. It's just as a fan, I don't know every NBA player by their number. Right now.
Yeah, we got to get brushed back up again.
Yeah. And look, how weird was it? First of all, Stan Van Gundy doing the color. He's very good on a Donovan Mitchell game. So that was kind of weird as well.
You just can't let it go.
I know. So how about that? So the Jazz beat the Pelicans 106-104. Rudy Gobert, who of course stopped sports back in March, scores.
You cannot.
I'm not blaming him.
Did not stop
No, but he actually did. Actually, that's when everything shut down after when he tested
It was a
positive.
DB for what he did, but
No, but it was because he didn't know he had it when he did what he did. I'm saying that when Rudy
he started the virus.
No, when Rudy Gobert got tested positive, that's when everything basically shut
Yes.
down. So Gobert gets the first basket of the restart, and he makes the winning free throws. That is pretty incredible.
He said he goes, life works in a weird way. or
Yeah,
whatever.
it does. And a lot of people are trying to figure out why they're having more teams in this thing to qualify. Just have the top 16. They want to give some teams a chance to make the playoffs because there's a few games left. And a lot of people were saying, well, they just want to showcase Zion somewhere, right? Because they have a chance if they get on a roll here to get in. Zion only played 15 minutes. 13 points in 15 minutes. He's still on a minutes restriction? What's the deal? I didn't watch the whole game. I turned it on, and it was a close game, so I flipped back from the Tigers game. He did not play the last 7 minutes of the game.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. If you're going to tank or preserve him, don't even show up at the bubble. That was ridiculous. And then I saw the beginning of the game. Obviously, I didn't see the end, but I saw the highlights. The Lakers and the Clippers, 103-101. The Lakers win it. LeBron follows up his own bad jumper with the basket, and then he plays tenacious defense on both Kawhi and Paul George in the final possession. The Lakers hang on to win. Everybody, obviously talks LeBron, Kawhi. Anthony Davis is the guy, man. Anthony Davis is 34 points, and he's going to be I think, more so than LeBron, the guy that puts the Lakers, if they're going to win a title. It's all going to be because Anthony Davis.
And he actually is getting overshadowed by Giannis.
Yes.
Too, as far as a big man and all that. He's as good as they get.
He's a great player. He is just a fantastic player.
You know what my takeaway from watching that last night was? And I know you're not going to be familiar with this. Greg might. I'm not quite sure. I felt like I was almost watching NBA 2K Live. Like, it looked so close to a video game.
Well, that's what I thought.
And there's something about
I mentioned that for the hockey the other night. It looked like an EA Sports NHL game.
Yeah, there's something that's going on with the digital that it looked almost more video game-ish than normally watching. I'm not sure if that's the angle of the camera. It's different with the court, and it's kind of pointing down.
Well, I think the virtual fans
that's certainly
applauding has something to do with it as well. That was kind of weird. But, they had the Lakers. I heard their public address announcer. I don't know if he was doing it in L.A. I don't know how the hell they do that, but that was pretty cool as well.
Watching the Tiger game last night, I noticed something. That somebody hit a foul ball down into the corner. And there's this guy sitting down there, right? It starts to raise a little bit down there. So he's sitting at the low part still where you can hop over, like where you could have fan interference. And he goes and retrieves the ball quickly and then goes back. And then Ivan Nova had to wait a second for him. And he kept looking back and stuff. And I just picked up on this little anomaly, how it affected game flow for a second. Just the oddities all. They did some wider shots of Comerica last night. Man, it looks so weird empty. And I've never really looked at it empty like that.
It's like the NBA and the NHL doesn't look that strange because it's more compact anyway, and you can get tighter shots. All right, our telephone number is 248-539-9797. Coming up on the show today, if you missed Dwayne Casey, the Pistons head coach, we'll replay that coming up at 7:02. Have to get into something that's very uncomfortable for us because I know we all love the guy, but Bo Schembechler, his legacy is definitely on the verge of being tarnished with some of the things that was revealed yesterday. And who's the best number 14 in Detroit sports history? That's coming up at 7:35. Heather with news is next.
You guys, there's another pretty big celebrity who is now speaking out about testing positive for COVID-19, and he's encouraging others to do this.
No idea who that is. We'll find out next. 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, the roads are in pretty decent shape this morning. No reports of accidents right now. Looking at a smooth drive along I-75, 696 looks good. Also 94, 96, and 275. Experience the joy of a bigger world at the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event. For a limited time, enjoy 0% APR for 60 months on all 2020 models. Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
Time spending in the outdoors, and you gotta, let's face it, when you're outside, you don't want to be sitting in your driveway, you want to be sitting on your deck. Northfield Lumber is the deck paradise of Michigan. Everybody knows that people on a deck just have more fun. Nothing better than enjoying a nice evening with dinner and drinks on a brand new Trex deck from Northfield Lumber. Don't deal with the staining and the splinters of a wood deck, especially when an ultra low maintenance Trex deck from Northfield Lumber can be cheaper than wood.
Starting link to 24088 Heather Acord.
Ready for immediate pickup or delivery. They have indoor displays, outdoor displays.
Take a slight right turn to merge on Northwest Highway toward I-696 West.
Or let Northfield Lumber introduce you to a Trex certified professional. They've been Trex experts since 1994. It's the best place to learn about, plan, and buy Trex decking, period. And right now they have the lowest pricing on Trex ever. Northfield Lumber, Michigan's Trex decking leader, the official sponsor of Drinks on Your Deck all summer long. NorthfieldLumber.com.
Protecting Michigan's motors is critically important. So is providing the energy that fuels Michigan's quality of life. A tunnel for Line 5 is the right solution. Enbridge is committed to building this underground concrete tunnel, passing Line 5, deep under the Straits of Mackinac. This means multiple layers of protection, virtually no chance of a leak into the Great Lakes, no possibility of an anchor strike, and no interruption to the energy that Michigan needs. Learn more at enbridge.com/line5tunnel. Michigan, the coronavirus pandemic has put us all to the test. And now, it's time to put COVID-19 to the test. As we move forward, testing will be critical. We encourage anyone who has reason to get tested to do so. Those with symptoms and those without. If you're leaving home and going back to work, get tested. If you think you may have COVID-19, or you've been exposed recently through family, friends, or coworkers, get tested. Our test locator tool can help you find the right testing site that fits your needs. Even if you're looking for easy access with no cost, no prescription, and no appointment necessary, we've got you covered. Help Michigan move forward, not backward. To find a testing site or learn more, visit michigan.gov/coronavirus test. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Are you looking for action to fire up your summer? Well, catch The Fugitive on Quibi. Kiefer Sutherland and Boyd Holbrook star in The Fugitive, an edge-of-your-seat crime thriller in which an innocent man on the run, desperate to clear his name, is chased through Los Angeles by the cop who will not rest until he is captured. Go to 971theticket.com/fugitive to sign up to receive a preview link for the first 4 episodes of The Fugitive. Fugitive for its virtual premiere on August 2nd and live Q&A with the filmmakers and cast on August 3rd. The Fugitive, only on Quibi, premieres August 3rd.
Capital One knows life doesn't alert you about your credit card.
Hey, job surfers, we got nonstop news to keep you rocking while you work. Perfect Collie. Yes, you Collie with a K. Your free trial of Movie Plus ends tomorrow, and your card may be charged. Due to continue or cancel.
So meet Eno, the Capital One assistant. Eno looks out for surprise charges, like when free trials expire, and helps if you need to fix them. Eno, another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. Capital One, listen your way. Limitations apply.
This year, biology might be in a third
Take a
floor
slight right turn to merge onto Northwest Highway toward I-696 West.
Staples has everything you need at amazing prices. From the latest tech and backpacks to hand sanitizer and bottles. This week, Apple AirPods Pro are only $199. You save $50 and shop any of our convenient, safe options. In-store, curbside pickup, or order online. School on, save on. At Staples. Ends 8/1/20. Limit 2 while supplies last. Curbside available in most stores.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Oil change coming up? We can help you out. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of Pennzoil high mileage motor oil and an STP oil filter for just $27.99. And if you need it fast, we can help you get it fast. Whether it's at home with next day delivery or in store and curbside with our free same day pickup. The choice is yours. Getting the job done just got easy. Restrictions and details at AutoZone.com.
Use the right lane to take a slight right turn to merge onto Northwest Highway toward I-696 West. And keep left to merge onto I-696 West toward Lansing.
Steak. Its unique formula with emu oil that treats deep to relieve arthritis pain, sore muscles, joints, and more. 97.1 The Ticket and Allison Brewery have teamed up to make 2 exciting new
Keep
beers.
left.
Introducing 97.1 The Ticket American Lager and 97.1 The Ticket Don't Drive Up Casey Pale Ale. Look for them on draft at a bar or restaurant near you.
Let your voice be heard. Call the D-Las Vegas 97.1 The Ticket Studio line. 248-539-9797.
In 6.9 miles, take exit 1 to merge onto I-96 East toward Red River Avenue.
The Detroit Tigers host the Cincinnati Reds. Pre-game tonight at 6:45 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Past the hour. Gentlemen, it's news time. Who's director of the year?
Good morning, guys. Happy Friday, everyone.
Yes, ma'am. basically make a case about work.
For sure, without a doubt. And James Craig has spoken out about it, and he is defending the officers' actions. Yesterday, Michigan reported one of the highest daily coronavirus totals the state has experienced in the past 2 months, with more than 700 new cases. So we had 715 new cases reported yesterday, along with 19 deaths. However, 14 of those deaths were backlog. Like I said, it's happening every day from this backlog data. So technically we had 5 deaths yesterday. So that total, the 715 new cases, was the 4th highest one-day addition in both June and July. And the only good news really coming out of the coronavirus news here in Michigan is that the deaths and the hospitalizations linked to the virus have remained very, very low. The state reported 438 hospitalized COVID inpatients on Thursday.
Which goes with what I believe I said yesterday, what our doctor told me is, yeah, more people are testing positive, but the strain is certainly not as damaging, and for the majority, as it was early on around.
And it's in younger people, too.
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why. I mean, well, I'm not going to question a doctor necessarily, but I would say it's the age of the person that's making so many hospitalizations and deaths.
True, but before we never thought young people could even get it. Now they're getting it lightly.
So police are investigating after 3 Rochester Hills teens were found dead in an Auburn Hills hotel room. So police actually received a call requesting a welfare check on this group, and when they got to the hotel, that's when they found these 3 teens dead. A 17-year-old girl and 2 brothers, aged 18 and 19. And there was a 4th person in the room with them, an adult, a 29-year-old man. He was found unconscious, but still breathing. He was taken to the hospital. And at this point in time, it's believed that the victims died from a drug overdose. They say no foul play was suspected. And of course, autopsies are going to be conducted to determine what drugs, if any, were in the system.
Tragic.
It really is.
I've heard opioid
Addiction.
Yeah, addiction has increased, or there's been more incidents since COVID started. It's a little scary, like why this hotel, because I heard there was a 4th death there that was unrelated. It happened earlier this week.
Really? At the same hotel?
Yes. Something's going on, maybe potentially at this hotel. Is this a place where people go to get it?
Interesting. I hadn't heard that. That's interesting. You guys, Herman Cain, a former GOP presidential hopeful, has died from complications due to COVID-19. He was 74 years old. Now, he had been ill with the virus for several weeks, and it's not exactly clear when or where he was actually infected, but he was hospitalized less than 2 weeks after attending President Trump's campaign rally in Tulsa, which was on June 20th.
And he was not wearing a mask.
He was not. There's photos of him there. Not many people in general at this rally were wearing a mask,
Right.
And very few were social distancing. It was held indoors. But again, that might not have been where he was infected.
True.
But it also could have been where he was infected, so. All right, so there's another pretty big celebrity who has been diagnosed with COVID-19. Well, now he's actually recovered. Bryan Cranston.
Oh.
Yeah, he has tested positive for COVID-19, and now he is donating his plasma. And he actually released this video on social media where he announced that he was diagnosed a little while ago, and he said that he was one of the lucky ones because he said he had very mild symptoms. But basically, the whole point of this video that he posted was to highlight the importance of donating plasma to help others. So if you've tested positive and recovered, he's encouraging people to do that. And he actually showed footage of himself donating his plasma, and he's also using the video to kind of remind people to, hey, keep following the guidelines. Wear your mask, social distance, take care of yourself.
I wanted to announce that I had COVID-19 a little while ago. Very lucky. very mild symptoms. And so I thought maybe there's something I could do. So I started a program there. So hopefully the plasma donation can help some other people.
You don't hear people, like, you don't hear the CDC saying donate plasma.
No.
You don't get that messaging. You rarely hear about this. You heard about it early on a little bit, but you don't hear, like, every day, like, okay, so he said the talking points of social distancing and masks and all that, but you never hear, okay, these other things.
Right. But I have heard of other people, because I think Tom Hanks even donated his plasma.
That I don't know.
There was another somebody in the news that was donating plasma as well. It was a celebrity, I think. But you don't hear about that very often.
You don't hear it in the messaging or every day like everything else.
No, not at all. You guys, tomorrow, Saturday, it's National Mustard Day.
My favorite condiment, baby.
My least favorite, but either way, to celebrate, French's Mustard has actually created a limited edition mustard beer, which sounds horrendous, but apparently it's not so bad because they say that it's a tropical wheat beer that's brewed with French's mustard. So it's going to be more of a fruity mustard beer.
I would try it. Where do you like it?
Well, you have to get it online. It's only available tomorrow, and you have to go to the website craftshack.com, and it's $20 for a 6-pack.
What don't you like about mustard, Heather?
Me? Oh, I don't know what it is. There's that little spicy like tang to it. It just doesn't. My taste buds don't like it. Like I just don't like mustard.
Do you like spicy or hot foods, by the way?
Not particularly.
Okay,
No.
do you ever have Chinese, like really hot Chinese mustard?
No.
Oh, you go to a Chinese restaurant to get their mustard. I mean, it's like your eyes like
Turn
water.
left
It's
onto
great.
Highland Drive.
Oh, I don't think I like that.
Stoney, do you put mustard on your burgers? Like, is it a norm or just sometimes?
Oh, norm.
Yeah, me too.
Ketchup and mustard together.
You like mayo on it?
No.
Really? Once in a while, I like.
No, I'll get a Whopper. If I get a Whopper, it's Whopper
Turn
no.
right onto Cranbrook Drive.
I have to have pickle when I have my burger.
Oh, pickles. Well, you know me, Mr. Joe's.
Yeah.
Gotta have those pickles.
Finally, you guys, when it comes to Michigan's weather, it's all downhill from here. That's according to the National Weather Service. They actually posted a little friendly reminder on their Facebook page that says our summer temperatures aren't expected to stay around and that the warmest days are now behind us. They actually showed this little chart that showed the first snowflakes are expected to be here around late October. Goodbye, summer. Basically.
Isn't this like normal? It's called climate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
There's four seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look. If you tell me we're not going to see the high 90s the rest of the summer, I'll say fine. To keep it in the 80s is great.
That's
It'd be
true,
perfect. And then, like, edge it gradually. We don't have the gradual, go into winter. We need fall. We need real fall. All right, thank you, Heather. All right, coming up next, some more revelations on Dr. Anderson's time at the University of Michigan. And
Turn
the
left
legend
onto Heather
is
Green
definitely
Court.
involved.
Then the
97.1.
destination is on your left.
Michigan, I need your trade-in, and I need it today. I'll give you up to 125% of the Kelly Blue Book fair market value for any trade-in. Come see me, Rich.
And me, Tanya.
Today.
At the all-new Londyland Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on M53 in beautiful Imlay City, Michigan.
Jordan Main here from Main Financial Group Wealth Management with today's Main Money Minute. Our area is